The topic is interesting, the philosopher is interesting, he is technically not a boring person. What is wrong right now? I'm not hungry, like that wasn't that either. And then I realized, shit, I guess I'm really not just in love. Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome back from Guadalajara, where I'm again at a very, very beautiful spot. I have a cool companion who always finds the best ones, so we're gonna use this one to tell another story. This story is going to be about hope, new beginnings after love, and how I still haven't managed to watch the movie The Godfather. Any of them, actually. I know it's a trilogy, any of them. Okay, the story begins with the end of my very first relationship. It lasted for roughly 2 years. I was 18, I was 20 when it ended, I felt like 14, I was completely heartbroken, and basically I spent the next 2 years after this crying. You have to imagine me crying every day, all day for almost 2 years. I was really devastated, and I honestly thought I could never love again, like as you do when you're in love for the very first time. Spoiler alert, yes, I was able to again, but we didn't know that yet back then. Okay, and basically I was like that, I was miserable, and at one point I decided to visit my dad in the city where he lives, about 2.5 hours from Berlin, from where I used to live. So I wanted to take a BlaBlaCar Uber thingy, and that was exactly the day when the clocks changed from summer to winter time, which of course I didn't remember. So I ended up missing my ride. What did I do? I cried. I was sitting in a cafe and I was crying like a waterfall, which caught the attention of a random guy sitting next to me in that cafe, who really apparently felt sorry for me, and then at some point started talking to me, and we decided that we would go for a tea eventually. He was absolutely not my type. He looked a bit like an elf from Lord of the Rings. I'm not that much into elves. Sorry for all the elves out there. But he was really nice, and we decided to meet, and basically, yeah, we started dating at some point. At some point he asked me if he could take my hand. We were walking around. It was really innocent, but then we started proper dating, and I kind of grew on him. However, I noticed quite early on that this was not really my person. And the way I noticed, I remember the day exactly. It was when he told me about a movie that he has just seen about Hannah Arendt, the Jewish philosopher who spoke a lot about World War II and the consequences and the Holocaust, which is a topic that I found absolutely interesting. He was absolutely not a boring guy, he was really intelligent. We were walking around, I wasn't hungry, it was a beautiful day, but I thought to myself, why is this so boring? Why is this only so boring? And what is happening there? And I couldn't explain it. And then at some point we were supposed to meet again to watch The Godfather, a movie that I haven't managed to watch for the last 5 attempts for no reason at all. And I thought, this is my chance. It was in an open air cinema, pre-COVID times. It was really, really cool. So we were supposed to go there. And before that movie, I was hanging out with a friend, and I noticed that I told this friend, gosh, like I really don't feel like meeting this guy. This is not interesting for me. Why am I doing this? But of course I'm polite and stuff, so I still went. And the first thing that happened when we sat down to eat before the movie was the guy telling me, Natalia, listen, I have to tell you something. I just met my ex-girlfriend again, and I realized that I'm still very much into her and that I would like to try with her again. So let's not go to that movie. And guys, it's honestly a bit ridiculous, but I was a bit heartbroken. And it has nothing to do with this guy being my soulmate or anything in the likes. It's just the fact that rejection, stupidly enough, hurts always. Even if you don't want it anymore, you still want to be able to feel like you can have it all, you know? And this is what I felt. And I was honestly sad, but at some point, after a bit more crying, not too much, but a bit more, I started to feel grateful, because I realized that as I was crying over the second guy, I had stopped crying over the first. And this was kind of a pathway to new beginnings, possibly. And sometimes the things that happen that we don't quite understand, that we don't quite agree with, yeah, they throw us off guard, but maybe, just maybe, they throw our attention from something else that had caught it just before, for a time way too long, possibly. And disclaimer, A few years later, I met the guy in the street randomly. He was walking there hand in hand with exactly this ex-girlfriend that he had mentioned. So apparently they were back together. I was honestly really happy and I was grateful to him. I was grateful for this encounter. I was grateful for missing the BlaBlaCar to go to my dad's place. I was grateful for him talking to me. I was grateful for learning for the first time what it feels like to not be into someone so much, because I hadn't had that experience so much before. And yeah, grateful for everything it brought. So thank you, Guy. If you're listening, you probably know who you are. And for all of you out there, I hope this story gives you something, if not entertainment, then maybe some interesting thought that you can carry with you. And I wish you a beautiful and sunny day, and send much love for you wherever you are. Bye bye. Okay.